Every morning, Beth and I get up, and the first thing we do is we take care of our two horses, Brady and Libby. We feed them, turn them out into the paddock, muck their stalls, put fresh shavings back into their stalls, fill their water buckets, and then we sweep the barn. I actually didn't know I would like doing this every day when we first made the commitment to take care of them ourselves about 6.5, 7 years ago. I was afraid that I might have gotten myself into something that I regretted. Taking care of the horses is a big commitment, and it's a lot of work. But I discovered that I like taking care of them. I found that taking care of the horses has kept me grounded. There's something about mucking the stalls and feeding them, turning them out, currying them, brushing them, riding them. It's very physical. And it helps me actually to stay connected to the earth, to God's good creation. We who live in the suburbs, towns, and cities can experience, and do experience, I think, a significant disconnect from the earth. We take it for granted and, in fact, treat it like a consumable product. As the world becomes increasingly digital and we spend more and more time online, the easier it is for us to slip into this kind of mode of detachment from the creation. Advent can provide an opportunity for us to recalibrate and reconnect with the creation. The gospel is earthy, if it is anything. God created the world. He loves the world. He loves the humans that he placed in the world and authorized as stewards of creation. God's supreme act of earthiness was actually becoming human. Wendell Berry, a novelist, poet, essayist, environmental activist, cultural critic, and farmer, writes this: I believe that the world was created and approved by love, that it subsists, coheres, and endures by love, and that, insofar as it is redeemable, it can be redeemed only by love. I believe that divine love, incarnate and indwelling in the Word, summons the world always toward wholeness, which ultimately is reconciliation and atonement with God. Now, I think he is spot on. The incarnation, God taking on human flesh, is God's yes exclamation point to the world. And it is love that motivated God to create the world. It is love that motivated God to become human. It was love that led him to the cross. It was love that raised him from the dead. And it is love that will make all things new when Jesus returns and sets the earth right. One of the earliest Christian heresies is called Docetism. This was the belief that Jesus didn't really become human. He only appeared. It was almost like a mirage. He only appeared to be human. And especially from a Platonic point of view, God becoming truly human is a contradiction because the physical world is not all that important. And in fact, from the Platonic perspective, our bodies are prisons for our souls, and our souls long to be released from them. No. From the beginning to end, the Bible testifies, tells the story of a God who has made the world, loves it, became part of it in the incarnation, and at last will renovate it into the world God intends it to be. The Jesus we follow was fully physical, didn't take any shortcuts, showed us how to live embodied love, experienced torture and death, and conquered death through the resurrection. Following Jesus isn't a thought, it isn't an idea or a concept, but an embodied way of life. I encourage you not only to reflect on this, but get out into nature and hike. Do good to your neighbor in physical and tangible ways. Do things that will connect you with nature. And if you think it would help, feel free to muck out a stall in my barn.